Okay, everyone, welcome to Investor World. We are going to go ahead and start check-ins, and Adina is going to facilitate that for all of us. So, floor is yours, Adina.
All right. Hey, guys. Happy that you're all back. Let's check it. Look at who are you? What are you up to? And what do you need your business to move forward in the next 30 days? So let's start with the dynamic power couple of real estate. Meg, Mr. Meg, just kidding. Hi, Brian. What do you guys
Okay, so right now we are working on getting our next rental closed. We have our closing in about a week and a half. So that's a good sign. We have a tenant already in there, so that's something new for us. We've never had a tenant in there already. So we're getting that done. I just finished real estate school. I've passed my final exam.
Yay.
I go for my national and state test on Tuesday night. So send me all of your real estate knowledge that night so I can pass my test with flying colors. And next 30 days, we are looking for more properties. We're looking for single family homes, packages of single family homes in the York County, South Carolina area.
Nice.
Always looking for more funding. Anything else? Did I forget? Okay, that's it.
Well, put that in the chat with your phone number, what you're looking for if you want. All right. Oh my gosh. It's Anais and, oh wait, your husband's Sean? Oh man.
Yeah. So I do a lot of meetings and the Zoom keeps, I'm Mullen, I'm Hawkins, I'm Anna, I'm a lot of things. So yeah.
I don't need Zoom to remember your name. I know you. All right. So guys, what are you up to and what do you need to move your business forward in the next 30 days?
So right after the meeting yesterday, I applied for the investor support. So that was done immediately after. And next 30 days, he'll take that one.
We're still developing our network and working on getting a W-2 job so that we can secure some financing to actually get our first property.
Nice. That's awesome, guys. And great step to put in that application. That's exciting. Let's see how that pans out. All right, awesome. Oh my gosh, I'm not gonna lie. This is one of my favorite new people, the energy. Hi, Adrian.
Hey, how's it going, Bonnie? And everybody else, I guess.
I'm Bonnie.
Oh, I'm
Adina.
Adina. How's it going, Adina and everybody else?
Fine. Nobody cares. Okay.
I'll get it. I'll get it next time.
I have an advantage. Okay, so what are you up to? What do you need to move your business forward in the next 30 days?
So in the next 30 days, I need more knowledge about the Charlotte area, just the real estate market and kind of what's going on. For my first deal, I think I want to do small commercial. So something that's multifamily, maybe a duplex or a triplex. So if I can live in one and then rent out the other two or rent out the other unit. So in the next 30 days, I'm looking for knowledge and also if anybody has any leads on those type of properties, then that would be great.
What area?
Ooh, okay. So I'm going to school at UNC Charlotte. So that's a hot area. I would love to be up there. I've noticed a lot of developments going on kind of up near the Marvin Ridge area and kind of the Waxhaw area. So up there, I've been keeping my eye out. And then
So Charlotte Metro, right?
Really anywhere. So I'm open to all places, Charlotte or in the Charlotte area.
Okay, great.
That's awesome. Put your contact info into the chat box if you want, so people can contact you about that for sure. Hi, hey, Allie.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going really good. How are you? What are you up to?
Doing great. So I came here yesterday and I was very impressed. I'm going to continue to keep coming to these meetings. For the next 30 days, I'm looking to network and grow along with getting more information and to continue to educate myself, like you guys told me yesterday, to figure out what angle I want to go through, to figure out what I want to do with this. But really just get as much information as I can, educate myself, network with others, reach out for mentors, and just even like mentor from a distance, kind of like showing up and just being like a sponge, just getting all the information that I can.
Well, I know, I gotta be honest, I'm actually really happy that you showed back up. I really enjoyed having you last night. That was fun. So, welcome back and awesome. That is so cool. All right. Hi, Camilla. How are you?
I unmuted. Hi, how are you guys?
Hey, are you solo tonight?
My husband got home late, so he's currently having dinner. So if you hear some clatter, that's what he's doing. He has weird hours, so some days he's home early, some days not, but he can hear everything.
Awesome. Well, I am so friggin' happy you guys are here. That's so awesome. So I'm excited to hear what are you guys up to and what do you need to move your business forward in the next 30 days?
So we spoke to a bank for financing, and we had, well, talking to them, we realized the best course of action was to, me and my husband tend to try to keep stuff cash, and now we have to deposit it, and then in order for it to not show up on the statements for the financing of the bank. So now we're on a waiting period for that to kind of clear, to be able to go forth with financing. And we're looking at properties, but things really come in the market and they disappear the next day. It's a really hot market, but we've been driving around like crazy, just trying to figure out like different areas and what would be good and what wouldn't be good. I think we're putting more miles in the car than we ever had, but just to kind of get a feel for the area and just knowledge, just hearing you guys and kind of seeing what you guys are doing for the next 30 or 60 days until we're able to really go forth. We don't want to waste anyone's time with just like, oh yeah, we're possibly going to purchase a house in 2 months, but we're doing our research, looking on the websites for properties and kind of just seeing what's out there.
That's awesome. Cool. I'm happy you're here tonight. Nira. I am loving this ponytail lately. I gotta say.
Hi.
So
Thank you.
please tell me what you are up to and what you need to move your business for in the next 30 days.
Okay, so I am up to, as you know, like finishing up my renovation at my house and starting the other one. I got my sink in. I guess that's like rolling into wins. I didn't mean to so soon. However, the sink is broken, so I have to get another one.
All right.
Yeah.
So what,
lucky me, right?
forward in the next 30 days?
Huh?
So what do you need to move your business forward?
The next 30 days. So to get this finished, get a tenant in there, and then start the process of my second one. I actually have the demo people coming out on Monday. So
that's exciting.
Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah.
Sarah. Jose, my dear friend, how are you tonight?
I am being productive right now.
Ooh, do tell. What's going on?
So finally got it on the phone today with a couple of financing. Doing my first rehab. If everything goes well, we should have the money by next week and getting started on this. I'm texting my partner. We're gonna walk this property on Saturday just to make sure everybody's on the same page. And I'm very excited. It's gonna be my first rehab, and I just like the opportunity. It's great.
I'm very excited for you. I remember when you started coming to the meetings, pretty much the same time. I think you were at the same time. And who would have thought? Here you are. That's so friggin' awesome. So there you go. I love it. Oh my goodness. Bill Johnson. One of my favorite people to see. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little biased.
Well, hello, Dina. Hello, everybody. Philip Johnson here. It's a pleasure to be at the Millionaire October 2020 meeting one more time amongst all you positive, high-powered, productive, successful, profitable business people. You just inspire me to keep on going. And under the tutelage of Bonnie Laszlo and Curtis Waters, man, we couldn't ask for a better deal, could we? So I just wanted to get that out there and get my thanks right quick. So I'm Philip Johnson. I'm just a little small-time landlord that's trying to stay above ground, do the right thing and manage my properties. I'm happy to report. Oh, in the next 30 days, I hope to finally begin this rehab project on a property I bought in December. They appraised the underlying property for my financing this week, and the appraisal came back at 110% of what it was last year. So there will be no problem on having that collateral now. So next step is closing, far as I know, and I'm ready to go.
Yes,
I hope I'll be able to report that the next time we talk, the closing has happened or it's either set. So Philip Johnson, Charlotte, North Carolina, landlord.
Yes, sir. Happy to have you as always. Oh, Bob and Deidre. The people are my best friends, but I don't know why I kind of feel like you are. How are you guys?
How is everyone tonight?
Fantastic.
Great.
What are you up to?
What are we up to? Well, we spent the day with an exterminator and showing our properties.
And looking at new property.
And looking at a new property. So it's been a really long, busy day.
Yep.
So we hope to put in an offer either later tonight or first thing tomorrow morning, and then just finish scanning through these applications, and we can move forward with our renovations now that we've had the exterminator out there. So moving forward, tomorrow they drop drywall and supplies, so it's looking good.
Excellent.
So you were to say something.
Next 30 days, we should have at least 2 renovated rentals to do placements on.
Wow. What a dream.
Raising the rents.
Oh, yeah, that's right, from last night. Thanks, Laszlo. Raise those rents.
Raising those rents.
Did I miss Wendell? Did he just leave?
I think he stepped away from the desk. Oh, there he is.
Wendell, the guy that I want to be like when I grow up. How are you?
Oh, don't be so sure about that. You don't know enough information.
What's going on, buddy?
I'm doing great.
So, Wendell, what are you up to?
Good to be here. I need some contractors in Chesterfield, South Carolina to help me get this warehouse project, offices fixed up, and get it ready to folks to move in finish moving in the first part of November. So that's one thing I'm working on. And I got to find the guy. The problem is I've got this tenant. He's moving down here from Chicago, and another guy moving in to help him from Raleigh. They can't find any place to rent in Chesterfield, South Carolina. I don't know if anybody knows how to find something, but that's a bit of a challenge. I know it's a little off of our normal areas, but that's some challenges we're looking on right now. So.
Interesting. Well, if you want, post that challenge. Maybe somebody can help you with your name in the chat box. You never know.
Okay. Well, I can't post it. For some reason, I can only post to Bonnie.
Post to Bonnie and she'll copy and paste. I know, technical difficulties.
Okay.
All right, man.
Just a minor detail.
I didn't see you. Egan, how are you?
Did you say Sean?
I did. You're looking very Abraham Lincoln tonight. I like it. Is that a little COVID beard there?
I just forgot my hat. It's a non-weekly wanting to shave look.
Sean, what are you up to, and what do you need to move your business forward in the next 30 days?
Hey, we're on to some amazing things. We've got one house closed that we're into now, one closing on the 26th, and two in the works that are hold and flips. They're all hold and flips. One of them's going to be a 36 condo development. The other one is a flip, and I'm looking for funding so I can keep buying. So I'm looking for $300,000 on each complex to develop and or flip it.
Cool. Awesome, Sean. Thanks. Happy to have you here. Marco.
Hi, hey, how are you?
I'm so good, but I want to know how you are.
I'm doing pretty good. I'm actually very surprised right now.
Why?
Since I started talking to you guys, I mainly focus on the Charlotte area as far as the short-term rental world goes. And of course, we kind of go up on the corridor of 77 and look corridor high of 85 around the raceway. Okay, so somebody actually mentioned to me about some properties for short-term rentals out in Gastonia. And I was like, Gastonia, I don't know if the rental power is there for short-term rentals. Charlotte, I pulled the numbers. Charlotte has an occupancy rate of, at its highest, which is July, at 77%. Gastonia in June is showing 83%. Average rental revenue for a short-term rental in July is $2,150.
I like it. I like those numbers.
Gastonia looks smoking. I actually pulled verbos to see if there's any actual rentals, short-term rentals in the area, and I did, and I pulled 3. So there's not that many in the area. You're only competing against 3. So all the hotels in that area that are looking for short-term rentals, and you're only in competition with 3. So it's great. I am very surprised with Gastonia. It surprised me today. So I'm very happy. Thank you.
Thanks for showing us the money of making some short-term rental funds, I guess, over in Gastonia. Because we're talking about it, yeah, because I know a lot of us have investments in Gastonia, and Nira's about to finish up hers, so she's got like brand new. And I was like, hey, might be good to maybe short-term rental that thing for a little bit. Give Marco maybe like 2 to 3 months, to bat it around and see what happens with it. So that's very great news. Thanks for sharing that, Marco, and looking up for that R&D for us.
Awesome. Happy you're here. Okay. Albina, you came back to us.
Yes, I did.
He's back.
And I'm bringing on more.
Hey, who are you with tonight?
My boyfriend, Andrew.
Hi. Nice
to
meet you.
Andrew. Welcome. Okay, so I'm obsessed with that you're back, Albina. You were so much fun last night. So tell everybody tonight what you're currently up to and what you need to move your business forward in the next 30 days.
Okay. I'm finishing my bottle from yesterday. That's the first achievement. So I just started here in Charlotte. I signed up with Keller Williams, and as a new broker, just trying to get access to MLS and be as a broker. And also I want to do investment. And actually today I found a house which goes for auction on Monday. I don't know anything about auctions, but it sounds so cool. I drove there. I took a look at the house, and I'm going to explore a little bit more, and I'm going to show up on Monday at the auction. I don't know how it'll go. I did my math. I did my own homework. We'll see.
Nice.
And I was driving for dollars. Nothing much. Grinding.
That's a lot. And so what would you say you need to move your business forward in the next 30 days?
If I would buy a property within the next 30 days, I'll be more than happy to flip or hold and rent it out. I don't know, but I want to get into it actively.
Awesome. And Andrew, what about you? Are you up to anything? Your real estate launch?
I'm just kind of piggybacking off of her. I'm looking to get my hands dirty, do some fixing up with some properties, and see if we can flip something. See what happens.
That's awesome. I love it. Another power real estate couple.
Power couple. Yep.
There we go. Happy you're here. Okay, so Eugene, what's going on, bro?
Yes. Looking for finance. That's why I'm here in the next 30 days.
Yay! Well, I'm happy that you're here. The only guy that I think is louder than me, laughs louder than me, right?
Yes.
I love that you're here tonight. Okay, guys, so I apologize. I actually left my computer at the doctor tonight, so I'm on the phone. Other than Waters and Laszlo, did I miss anybody to check in? Anybody want to check in that I didn't see?
So Naomi, go ahead and say hello. You have to unmute yourself. I see you. I see your initials down there. It's a person I invited. And you too.
Hey. How you doing? Thank you, Phil. I'm feeding the little one, so it's a little occupied at the time. But I'm Naomi. Just joined the call. This is my first time. Just wanted to, join the call and learn about the group and what you guys are doing, and learn about Subject 2 and a little bit more about what's going on in the Charlotte market. So thank you for having me.
Awesome. Naomi, happy you're here. Hey, my name's Adina. Nice of you to join our Hobby Millionaire family tonight and become part of it. Okay, is there anybody else that I missed for check-in?
Hey guys, it's Giorgio. Hey, my name is Giorgio Grimes. Hey, my name is Giorgio Grimes. I am a lead custom clothing style guide at Yoni Couture. I make suits, and I am a beginning real estate investor. To move my business forward within the next 30 days, I'd like to get a 2 to 3 bedroom plus 2 bathroom plus home and renovate it and rent it out and go about that process.
Awesome.
I also am looking for some painters, some freelance painters. So if anyone has some freelance painters, feel free to send them my way.
In what area, Giorgio?
Homes.
Like Charlotte?
Charlotte, that Mecklenburg County, I would say.
Post it up on the chat for sure.
Okay.
All right, anybody else need to check in? That means you, Curtis. I know you're up to a lot, but you only get a few minutes. So I know you can't say everything.
Well, I think I'm just going to have to condense it. So good evening and welcome to the call. I'm so glad so many of you are here. So I'm Curtis Waters. I'm senior partner in a real estate investment firm. We focus on property acquisition, rentals, optimization, and sales. So I have a network of financial institutions, hedge funds, wholesalers, and bulk sellers that I use to acquire properties at superior prices. So I'm more conservative with my investor funds than I am with my own money. I'm also broker in charge with Real Estate Realty. In the next 30 days, I'm looking for funding for a new multifamily mobile home project that I have under contract, and also working on at least five renovations.
Awesome, Curtis. Always a pleasure. Okay, I'm gonna check in now. Hey guys, my name's Adina. I'm a broker with Real Estate Realty as well with Curtis. Currently what I'm up to, well, I'm a little dressed down today because I spent some family time, but also there's this house that I'm looking into, and I was tracking down contractors today because all the quotes were supposed to be in today. So let's see, I can't wait to check my email. So a lot of texting contractors today, had to move out today, and on a portfolio that I investor support on. And what do I need to move my business forward in the next 30 days? it would be, I'm just going to go ahead and say it, a plumber, a really good plumber. Not that I don't know any, but I kind of need more. So if you know any licensed good plumbers, why don't you text me at 704-835-6448, 704-835-6448. Or if you just want to say hi and chat real estate, you can do that too. Okay, Bonnie, Laszlo, this is what everybody's been waiting for. What are you up to?
How about Patrick?
I didn't see that he was here.
Hey there. This is Patrick and Bonnie. We are up to playing Central Command here on Zoom with all the participants and facilitating the meeting to be a resource. And also in the real estate world, got some money coming in on some lending, so we'll be looking to place that out here shortly and in the as quickly as we can, either in other notes or with other real estate projects. So that could be anything from single family to multifamily to apartment complexes.
Apartment complex, January.
Yep.
January 2021. Let's get over 100 units.
Yep. So that's where our focus is going to be, is repositioning the next apartment complex opportunity.
Nice. That is friggin' awesome. Can somebody screenshot them right now? Because don't they look like this painting, like with the dog and they're both sitting there? Like, please.
Sorry, she was climbing up my leg. So I'm like, okay, she's not stopping. I tried, moving her away and she wasn't having it. So
you're just like, you guys look like bizarrely perfect right now. It's weird. Yeah. So Bonnie, Laszlo, do you want to check in?
Sure. For those that are brand new, my name is Bonnie Laszlo, also known as the Real Estate Hobby Millionaire. So I teach you guys how to do real estate as a hobby. You can decide if you want to take it up a notch, right? I've gotten up to about 500 units myself. And so currently in the next 30 days, geez, we just took on another 14 renovation projects. I guess 4 of them that need to be done within the next 30 days, in addition to the other 10 that we have. So we got 14 renos going on, and then we have another 10 closings that are about to take place. So team, Megadina, I'm sorry guys, we got more coming.
Well, you know what? It's going to actually be really, really exciting because we have those investor support people coming on.
Yeah.
We've already been rocking and rolling with some. They're side by side working with me and learning. So this is going to be a pretty exciting ride with the investor supporters.
Oh, there's Meg. I didn't see Meg. She's there. She's here. Hopefully she can see us.
She's here.
I can see. You might be a little blurry.
Great. Yeah, the next days we need obviously investor support, people that are looking to tag along and see behind the scenes, and also to help assist Meg and Adina as they go through some of these projects with our systems. And you guys are welcome to learn, at the same time. So looking for that. 30 days.
You can actually put in an application for investor support. We just ask that you have a minimum of 10 hours a week, or hey, up to 60. Also, if you want to support other investors and not the ones, go ahead, post it on Hobby Millionaire page that you want to, you know what I mean? So investor support, if you want to learn the ropes for free. Ooh, you don't got to pay for mentoring. Okay, so
let me go ahead and just add like an example of investor support if it's not necessarily for us. For instance, Wendell just announced to everybody that he's looking for contractors over in Chesterfield, South Carolina, right? So obviously an investor support person would tag along with Wendell because Wendell's a wealth of knowledge as well, advanced investor too. And it's a win-win, so you can get connected with someone like that by being of assistance and showing some value and getting used to chit-chatting with contractors and learning how to pretty much get a result, right?
So I have a question. I don't know if I'm allowed to have a question yet.
Go ahead.
Where is this Hobby Millionaire page? Is it the one that you would apply? What was that?
HobbyMillionaire.com.
Okay, so the one we did the applications on. Okay, so that's where we'd be looking.
Yep.
And is that where we contact other people as well? I didn't get a chance to look at it fully, so I will try.
The one that's on Hobby Millionaire is just for our team, but if you're looking for other people, you'll go into the Hobby Millionaire Charlotte Facebook page. You can obviously put people in comments there underneath Meetup for the Charlotte, for the Hobby Millionaire, people that are in Charlotte to say where you want to do investor support. And then we also have a Hobby Millionaire Gastonia as well. So if you wanted Gastonia, you could post over there too. Just be really specific kind of where you want to do it. And there's tons of investors that are part of our group that understand cooperative business and should give the startups a little try. It's a win-win for everyone. Some people are a little worried that they're gonna, train their own competition and stuff like that. But I've always been a person who, finds deals, and there's plenty of deals for everyone and plenty of properties, for people to fix and to work on and everything. So just be specific with what you're looking for, and someone should materialize, because I think locally, our Meetup page is up to over 3,000 people. So, I mean, we're all doing the same stuff kind of in the same areas. So it's always good to kind of have a study partner or, an assistant or an intern, whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, great. So I'll put my name in there then. Thank you.
Perfect. No problem.
Awesome. Okay, guys, now's the time where we're going to do wins. Wins are wins. So talk about what great happened to you, or if you want to throw a win to somebody else. And I always say this, now is the time. Now is the time where you can tell people how you're moving and shaking, right? Let them know. So who has some wins?
I'm going to give a win to Curtis today, because we had an investor that flew in from California today, and we pretty much met with the client, and we're now going to be doing an optimization project on the 14 unit where we got the green light to go ahead and start cranking into the construction and renovation side of things. So win Curtis for that, and then also win to Curtis because while we were there, I pointed out a known lot that I knew was available, and I was like, why don't you just make an offer on this tonight with Curtis, and we could have more parking for this apartment complex? And they said yes, and here it is. I know, I got a number out, but we know, what he has to work with, because she threw out a number, I threw out half of it, so he knows to negotiate between the two, and that way it'll be more parking for the apartment complex and another sale for Curtis. Yay.
Yeah.
Yes, I was actually going to win Curtis that too. Like, friggin' awesome.
So I want to give a win to Wendell. I called Wendell today, and Wendell gave me a lead to a commercial lender that he's dealing with that I referred this same owner to. And so I'd sent her another one, so she's got a couple to choose from, find the best deal for her long-term financing, because she's got her eyes on another $400,000 project. So, that is the importance of networking. You go out, you make these relationships, you perform for people, and they keep coming back to you.
I'm going to also give a win to Phil as well as Wendell, because both of you guys are in the middle of locking up commercial or refinance deals at the low interest rates. And so while we're at the meeting today, meeting with that California investor, we did share your wins about getting those refinances done. And then Wendell, you getting your $1 million loan done as well, which is inspirational for obviously these other investors who are getting, roadblocked by people that are either bailing out at the last minute. But it's good credibility piece to be able to say, look, Phil's closing his out, Wendell's closing his out, Patrick and I just closed out, another loan, which you're going to hear later on this meeting as well. Meg and Brian, they closed their stuff out. So it's all about, sharing this information so that we all can get business done faster, quicker, and, sidestep any, bait and switch people kind of thing, Okay.
Awesome.
And just a quick favor, if you're sending me chats in this and you want people to reach out to you, please be sure to include your contact information so we can share that with everyone.
Yep, awesome. I would like to give 2 wins. My one win, I'm just gonna give a random win to Nira. I mean, like, I don't mean to put her business out there, but she even has a full-time job and she does all this. Nira, you just don't stop. Seriously, I love watching you. I just want to give you a win for being like a frigging powerhouse. So congratulations on it. And I want to throw another one to Marco because I don't know why whenever he talks, I feel a little bit smarter. So I want to give you a win for talking. Thank you for
My wife would disagree with you, but thank you.
And Marco, you gave all of the Gastonia investors some inspirational, ideas.
Right.
Maybe not, because the rental market is so quick that we rent out stuff before it's even done. But it's nice to know that the average, income that you're saying that people can get on their short term is around $2,000 a month, which, guys, that's double the $1,000 a month on a 3-bedroom or one,
yeah,
whatever you're doing.
So, I mean, seriously,
great. Yeah.
Check out airdna.co. That website, go to airdna.co. It is a website that'll give you.
And then he can, put that up as well.
I'll put it on.
Yeah, I'm also going to say win to Deidre and Bob because you guys might not know them, but they started off with, the single family deals and doing wholesale stuff. And then they bit off this big house multi-bulk project. So win to you guys, because I know that you guys, it's like the first of the month that's coming, or, that came and went. And it's cool to see all those rent checks come in.
Yeah.
It is indeed. Sorry.
Super, super huge win.
Yeah, it's great for us to, anytime we have any frustrations with any of the tenants or the properties or whatever, every time we get frustrated at all, the first of the month rolls around and the bank account goes, whoop. So that's a great feeling.
Yes,
great feeling.
We like the first of the month. That's payday.
That's awesome. Okay, any other wins, guys? By the way, you can give a win to yourself. That's not weird. It's normal.
I'll share my win. Well, the one win I mentioned, I did get my sink in, but it broke, so I took it out just to look at it, and the corner piece was broken. I'm like, whoa. So yeah. But another win is that I got my air fixed in my other property. So that's great. And I did not have to replace everything. I was like, wait, the unit works. I had all these people going out there just quoting me on replacing it. I'm like, but the unit works. Something else is happening. So finally got a guy there today, fixed it. It was under $200 and all is good. So awesome. I'm excited about that.
That's awesome. I'm also going to give the win to Eugene because he is onboarding with RER, Real Estate Realty. And I know he's working with Curtis on getting some of that onboarding stuff done, but also win because he is working on, hey, who needs houses? Let's just go straight into an apartment complex. So
yeah,
Eugene, because he's going straight for the gold and, working on a multifamily apartment complex.
Yes.
Do you guys know what that means? That means when Eugene is like this crazy, famous, busy landlord with all these apartment complexes, all of us right now can be like, remember when Eugene was talking about buying his first property back in the day? We're all here to watch this journey. Like now we can, this is pretty freaking cool.
Yes.
Congratulations. All right, any other wins?
Hold on, I have a win.
What?
I want to say the win is me finding this group to you guys because this was probably the best thing I did in the past year because I write down every day. Let me get around some successful people who are doing this, who are inspiring, who are striving to be great. Because I feel like if you want to be successful, you got to surround yourself by people who are striving for the same thing. And so to take, I feel like time is the most valuable asset that we all have. And to take 2 hours out of my week or 3 hours to come here and sit here and listen is well worth it. This is $1 billion worth of information.
Yeah, my thing is just if you guys are willing to show up and play full out, we're willing to be here to help and assist and share our knowledge with you. And as I always say, I'd rather you guys spend $30,000 to $50,000 in actual real estate versus on books and tapes. Because anything you got a question about, anything you want to know, I can tell you we can probably answer it for you. And you've got a wealth of knowledge, not just with myself, but with the entire Hobby Millionaire team, because there's like Gen 1 hobby millionaires, here on the calls too. And then people that are mid, process and stuff. And I know there's many people that are here that didn't have, these properties. And it's going to be cool because when you start getting your first one and stuff and you share, and there's also new people. So it's a great little learn, earn, and return kind of thing. And we've been doing it for, I don't know, Curtis knows how many years. I always forget.
Yeah, we've been doing it almost 7. We've been doing this for 6 years. Started in February 2014.
Dang.
I win, and I'm going to give it to all the big timers that you guys are. I think our culture is very linear and very competitive. You have to push other people out the way to get to the top. So I think it's really valuable that you guys are sharing your lessons, and I'm really thankful for it. I have a quote that a smart person learns from their mistakes. A wise person learns from other people's mistakes. So I'm here to be wise.
I know, that's great. And that's very much a key factor. And then also be able to utilize, other people's resources to get from A to B a lot faster. And, I tell you guys, and my quote inside my book and everything that I give you, the Hobby Millionaire book is, time is valuable, teams are best, use them wisely, and I'll show you success, right? And it's all about having a cooperative business space. And, I haven't had a problem really with getting deals, finding deals. After a while, the more you give, the more you get, for sure. People will bring you projects and that kind of thing. I think Curtis has seen it as well. He's, come into it, by fire hose in essence. And, he's always saying, your net worth is your network. And when 90% of the millionaires are through real estate guys, you definitely need to learn this and have real estate friends, right? And then some of these other friends, your relationships are involved, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, right? You let everyone do what they want to do, but if you're looking to get out of the rat race and become financially free, this is how you're going to do it. And you got to have, start with your 5, portfolio items on the side, and from there, look around when you're making that extra $1,000 a month coming in every, first of the month, and then come back and talk to me to see how you feel about it. It's like, once you have that residual coming in, you can breathe a little bit. And right now you guys don't even know what you don't know yet. And I understand that. But when you actually start having all of, these checks coming in, and like Deidre, and Bob, they're starting to see all this stuff coming in, and you're like, you're a different person, so even what you think today, what we're about to talk about, will be totally different whenever you guys have your first couple of projects. And that's fine. This is always evolving, and be okay with that. Just, talk to us just to make sure you're getting through the process as well as possible, so that if you're getting discouraged, let's talk about it. You got us here every week, and, everyone's going to learn from those hardships too. And if you're getting stuck, say, hey guys, I'm stuck, and we can tell you what you need to do next to get out, or, lend a helping hand, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Bonnie, can I add something to that?
Absolutely.
Especially for you new folks. My biggest advice would be to perform, okay? Do what you say you're gonna do. Be transparent, be honest. You come here to share information with folks. There are people here that are willing to help you, but you've got to be honest, you've got to be transparent, and you've got to perform to what you say you're going to do. If you do that, you're going to be successful. And that's probably true in any walk of life, but more especially in this kind of business, which is all about relationships. We got to the point where we could, because we had performed for our private money lenders and our contractors, et cetera, so forth. And believe me when I tell you, we had to use every bit of that experience and transparency to get the big deal that was a game changer for us. Okay, so perform, be honest, be transparent, and you'll be successful. So.
Yeah, and I remember us sitting at the table one night when you guys got that project, and I told you guys, I go, you guys better not wholesale this. I'm like, you guys need to try and take this down because this will do it for you. This is the game changer. This is the one that's going to, you know, in essence, you know, be the pivotal point of your investing career. You know, and I told them, I was like, and I'm serious, like go and try and take this down on your own. And if you can't, you can always use us as backup. But, you know, I can't tell you how many hobby millionaires have brought projects to me and I'm like, are you sure you want to sell this? Are you sure you know, you really need to kind of keep this. And then of course they're kicking themselves in the butt after, you know, we take it, double the value, sell it, that kind of stuff. And I've even offered people to stay in the project. I'm like, are you sure you want that assignment fee, wholesale fee? Do you want to stay in the project and, you know, see? And they're like, no, I'm going to take the cash. And I'm like, all right. You know, and, you know, and I'm on the call sharing the numbers whenever it happens. And I'm like, yeah, that deal, remember that I paid you $10,000 on? Well, guess what? You know, I just flipped it out and made 40 grand. So.
There you go.
Yep.
Knowledge is power. And that's why it's so good to be here. To quote a great philosopher, if you don't know, well, now you know, right? Notorious. What a smart guy. Okay, now, guys, any more wins?
Yeah, I think we should probably get into open floor ASAP. Yeah.
Let's go for it. We already have some things on the chat, right?
Well, we need to get into the content first. So we're going to go straight into show me the money stuff. So we've got a bunch of different topics that we want to go on. So let's see here. Curtis, you want to go ahead and list off all the different types of things we can talk about, and then let's see which one you guys want to talk about first.
So topics we can discuss include private lending, hard money lending, SBA loans, NACA and the NACA loans, 100% owner-occupied bank financing, student loan forgiveness, owner financing, lease options, joint ventures and the money involved with that, and business loans. Is that enough?
Yeah. Do any of those speak out to anyone? Any of those show me the money topics you guys want to start with first?
Hard money lender.
Loans.
Yes.
Business loans.
Okay, so we got business loans. What was the next one?
Hard
Refinance.
money lending.
Refinance. And what's the next one?
Hard money lending.
Hard money lending. Okay, hard money lending, refinance, and the business loans. Was there another one?
Owner financing.
Owner financing. Okay.
Lease option as well.
Anything else?
You can go over subject 2 for anyone that doesn't know about subject 2.
Okay, yep. We'll roll into that with the owner financing part too.
Yeah, subject 2 is awesome.
Okay, perfect. All right, so out of those ones, now that they have been pulled out of the hat, let's see, why don't we go ahead and we'll go ahead and talk, I guess, about the business loans, because realize that, you know, this was one of the things that catapulted, you know, Curtis's investment career, because whenever he came to the meetings and we were chit-chatting, and he has over 700 credit score that we submitted into a company that will actually position you based on the money that they can get you in such a way where it's like optimized. And for them to do that, they charged at the time, I think it was 10%. So if they got, let's say Curtis $100,000 or any of you guys $100,000, they would charge $10,000 for doing that service. And so whenever we went ahead and did that, over 100,000 actually was issued out on the behalf of Curtis's LLC at the time. and he's able to use those monies to use as down payments on properties so that he wouldn't have to bring in a partner onto a project if he didn't want to. He could use that money for renovations. He could use, that money for startup capital just for his business, in general. And, a lot of these business loans or these business credit cards had 0% financing for the first year, or it was for 6 months. So just know with the business, credits and everything, they come very quickly. So let's say that we were going to submit it in today. I think that we knew the amount that he could get within 24 to 48 hours. From then we decided if it was good enough to go ahead and pay these guys 10% whenever they got it. So you don't even have to pay them until, the money is there for you. I do not suggest that you guys pay these people $5,000 up front to give you lines of credit, because that's a big scam thing that goes around. Don't pay anyone any money unless they are actually delivering money to you, okay? And then from there, I believe that the people that originated all of that money were able to get paid off of one of those cards. Curtis, you ended up paying them off of one of the lines that they had opened for you, correct?
Yes. So if you got $100,000 and their fee was 10%, they would take $10,000 and charge it to one of those cards. And of course, you're going to put it on a card where you have a grace period, for the interest. And some of those ran anywhere from 90 days to a year.
Yeah. And you should be, with $100,000, cash available to you, I think you should be able to make 10 grand somehow, one way, shape, or form, right? If not, you got to come talk to all of us, because we know how to work the money to generate, a lot more than 10 grand. That's for sure.
And this is going to be a recurring theme tonight. I know a lot of you are going to look at this and go, I got to pay 10% plus maybe interest on the money that I got. I would never do that. You're going to have the same thought when we get to hard money or private money. What you need to look at is look up cash on cash return and see that this money that, in my case, I didn't have to put out anything for it. So it was a great cash on cash return for me.
Are there any questions about business credit cards or the business, lending stuff? Do you understand the process and how that money kind of works? Because all we have to do is open up an LLC, right? And then we submit the application. Once the money shows up, once they've given you the quote after 24 to 48 hours, we say yes or no. Once the funds show up, then they get paid on one of the cards that had been issued to you.
I have a question. As an LLC is a vehicle that is attempting to limit one's liability, credit card funding in the name of the LLC, do you still retain personal liability for the funds expended?
Yes.
But were those ones showing up on you guys' credit, or were they on the LLC's
They
credit?
are on the business line of credit. So they actually, when the
they don't affect your personal credit.
Yeah, so you're personally responsible, but it doesn't show up on your personal credit report. Not unless you
do you still have the contact of these people?
Oh yeah.
I need to get in contact with them.
Yeah. If you can put your information.
If you want to do, just text message me and we can get you started.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So this business loan is looking at your credit, not in order to figure out whether or not how much they're going to give you and not your finances.
Correct. It's purely your credit score and
Oh, we're rich. Yeah, look at that.
So they're looking at your credit score and they're looking at your utilization of the credit that you have.
Yeah, because that was one of the big game changers with Curtis, because he was coming into the game with, not having done anything before. And so, you know, he was kind of looking at what was the best way to get optimized. And I'm like, well, this is what I would do if I were you. And this is how to get from A to B. And he's like, let's do it. And I said, all right, let's do it. And then, you know, I didn't know how much he would get. Like, I never know how much you guys are going to get. I just know that, you know, you need to at least have over, you know, a 700 credit score, and that's it. We open up an LLC for you, and boom, in 24 to 40 hours, they're going to give us a likelihood. And what I noticed out of all the hobby millionaires that we've done this for, they always get more than what they quoted. So although they quoted, you know, Patrick, they quoted lower too, right? For your stuff.
Yeah, they quoted lower, and then it went up quite a bit. I don't think I got up to where Curtis was, but it was pretty high up there.
Yeah.
And I would just add, when you do get it, make sure that you use it, but use it responsibly, especially when credit goes unused. Your credit lines tend to get shut down and decreased. So if they get that credit for you and you let a year go by and you haven't used the card, and you had $50,000 available, don't be surprised if all of a sudden you only see $30,000 to $20,000 available on an unused credit card. So it's there for a reason, and it's there for a good reason. So it can be used responsibly.
Yeah, use it for, you know, business meetings. Use it for your gas when you're doing driving for dollars. Use it for, obviously, whenever you're going, let's say, to Best Buy to get printer paper and printers and laptops and stuff. But make sure that you use them. So if you got 5 different ones, make sure you just kind of allocate each one for a specific, you know, part of your business. That way it doesn't, you know, get cobwebs on it, you know?
Yep. And so I think most of you are a good accountant, and you can also hook up those cards to sync with a bookkeeping software. We have them personally linked up to our QuickBooks accounts. So it automatically syncs automatically to track all those expenses for you.
So most of you are aware of the credit reporting agency, Equifax, TransUnion, folks like that for your personal credit. Well, there's a credit reporting agency for business credit as well. It's Dun & Bradstreet, and once you start doing it, I got a Dunn's number assigned, and next thing you know, I got someone from Dunn's calling me about, hey, would you like to pay us X thousand a month to help manage your business credit? Not really something you need to do. It's just something to put money in their pocket. But you can, you know, build this business credit by getting these cards and credit lines, and then multiply them.
And it's also good to get these lines, because that would be my first thing that, you know, anyone who's, you know, coaching with us or talking with us of what would you do, you know, what would Bonnie do? A lot of people will say, and, you know, it's, you know, let's go ahead and go the business, you know, credit route first before you start taking on partners, because it's going to be, you know, you have to give up less of your deal, you know, that way. So, and it's also good just to kind of have that cushion of knowing that you've got it there, so you can breathe a little bit, and you've got renovation funds available, and you've got money for your down payment. And yeah, it also makes you feel real official. Like all of a sudden your new LLC, your new business actually has money attached to it, you know? So that's going to give you a little confidence boost as well. And from there, as you can see, Curtis, you know, grew his stuff. And, you know, I think Curtis has been to every single meeting for like 6 years, you know, unless his wife takes him away somewhere, you know, just like me. And, you know, we've all pretty much, you know, been on these calls, and, you know, you can watch people grow through the meetings. We're not going anywhere. Obviously, if we, you know, we're screwing people over and that kind of stuff, we'd be long gone by now. So just know, guys, you're going to go through this process, and you're going to learn from how everyone does it. And you're going to use each other's resources, right? And you know it's real because, you know, Patrick's done it, Curtis has done it. I don't know if anyone else has done it on this call, but there's a lot of hobby millionaires that have. Okay, any questions about this business, you know, line of
quick? I have a question. Credit cards just like, So a credit line that lasts for about a year, and you would use it for things like, you want to get rid of it. I know what a credit line is. I don't know if it's different from what I know. So I guess my question is, if it's for a year, are you looking to be able to like refinance your home and then pay it back like you would a hard money lender? Or that way it's not staying there and it's just kind of in reserve? I'm just kind of confused. Like, what would you use it for? I heard you say down deposit and gas and
zero interest. Some of them get you these promotions of 0 interest for a year. It's not that the credit card goes away in a year.
Okay.
Yeah, so it doesn't cost you anything
So
in essence for a year.
Other than the
So
companies charging their fee, as Chris said, the 10% which goes on to one of those cards, there's 0% interest typically in place on all the cards or all the lines of credit that they get for a year.
Okay.
What it does is it gives you financial flexibility. It's not uncommon. We see great deals, but it's got to be cash and it's got to close within a couple of days. If you had that money available on a business credit line, there you go. If you want to later go in and refinance it, cash, has a different view in most people's eyes. If I can sell something, I can sell it for cash now. I'll sell it for a cheaper price.
So I'm going to give you guys a straight up example. So Eugene's on the line right now, and he's looking at an apartment complex, let's say. And I'm not going to use the exact numbers, but I'm going to tell you a story so that you can understand this in a simplest of terms. Okay. So Eugene finds this apartment complex, let's say, and the seller says, "Hey, I'll go ahead and give you this apartment complex, and I'm kind of wanting $50,000 down though, in order for me to go ahead and give you this apartment complex." So Eugene says, "Hey, Bonnie," he's texted me, right? And he's like, "I need $50,000. I'm like, "Okay, well, let's go ahead and see what your options are." And so we go ahead and we submit in for him to get his business lines of credit. And he comes back with getting $100,000 in those business lines. So then from there, he can use that money to go ahead and give to the apartment complex owner so that he can then own the apartment complex. And he didn't have to bring in a partner, right? And on that $50,000 that he got, it's 0% interest for the first year. So after, let's say that he ends up doing that, and let's say 6 months, Eugene has been over there increasing rents and doing all these wonderful things to the apartment complex. And, his situation is great because he doesn't have to refinance. But let's go ahead and say that he buys this apartment complex for $500,000, right? So $500,000 and 10% down would be 50 grand. And so then after 6 months of increasing the rents and stuff, now his apartment complex is worth $1 million. Okay. So $1 million because he used the rents. He never took any money out. He just collected the rents and he, fixed everything up, new paint, whatever, increased all the rents and created that value for that 6 months. Well, then he could then go, and do a refinance on that apartment complex. Okay. And let's say they're going to give him an 80% loan to value, or let's just make easy numbers sakes. He's going to go ahead and get a 70% loan to value. So 70% loan to value on that would mean he would be getting a loan for $700,000. So how much did he buy that apartment complex for? $500,000, right?
Yeah, sorry, we muted. $500,000.
Yeah. So he got it for $500,000, and now he's getting a loan for $700,000. Where does that $200,000 go?
In my pocket.
I love it.
I love this scenario.
I know. This is why I said you to get on this call so you could get your coaching, right? So yes, that $200,000 goes in his pocket, but then $50,000 of that could go back to paying off that card, right? But here's the question, Eugene, why are you going to go and put $50,000 back on that card if you got 0% financing for 1 year?
I wouldn't.
Exactly. You're going to go do the exact same thing again, right?
Yes.
There you go. And then you're going to keep that money in the bank, or, you know, you're going to put it in another property, and you've got that, you know, 200K sitting in your operating account of that LLC that you got, right? Making good payments and all that kind of stuff. And here's also a cool kicker about it is that, you know, after 6 months of making good payments, all this kind of stuff, he could go back to those same cards and ask for a line to be increased. So maybe he had on that particular, you know, card 100,000, right? And he only used 50 of it and then making good payments. He's like, hey, can you increase this to 120,000? Right? Why wouldn't they? And then they also look inside his bank account, or you can show proof of funds. Hey, I got 200,000 sitting in my bank account now, which was different than, you know, 6 months ago. So that's like just a scenario of one way to show you guys the money, right? With you.
That's amazing. Thank you. He's the math guy, but I am getting it.
Good. Yeah. I mean, you know, I'm trying to tell it to you in stories, because I think we can all understand stories. And then Eugene's like living that story. So.
I love these calls.
This is why you gotta love real estate, guys. I mean, I don't know of any other, you know, thing you can do where you can make this kind of money without getting a degree or, you know, 8 years of, you know, medical training or something. Yeah, so I mean, have a good time, because you're making it all better, and, you know, the process can be joyous and the process can be crazy, but you're gonna, you know, be able to do it more and more in the future. All right. Any other questions about the business lines?
I got a question about the refinance.
Yeah.
How soon can you refinance a property with a hard money lender?
Okay.
As soon as you finish, like for example, for my rehab, that's what we're planning to do. It's gonna take about 2 months to 3 months to finish it, max 3 months. However, we want to refinance that property. Are we gonna be able to do it at 90 days?
Well, it kind of depends. With the paperwork that you have, I mean, the first thing I would look for is, are there any prepayment penalties that are in your paperwork?
Okay, I don't have the paperwork yet.
Okay, and you'll want to look at that and see if there's prepayment penalties, because sometimes hard money lenders, they want to make sure that they're going to get the max return on the money that they're putting out there, and sometimes they don't like it when it comes back too soon.
Yeah, because I mean, what they don't want to do is they gave you a loan today, and then you pay them back off a week from now, right? Which is why they'll put prepayment penalties in place so that it's worth their while to put the money with you.
Mm-hmm.
So you just have to make sure that you're aware of what that looks like.
Because a lot of people want to put the money out there because they work really hard and they look all over the place for places to put it. And then most investors are just lazy, right? Like they're like, okay, I got that done. I got that out there. I'm going to make my interest. I don't have to worry about that. Well, wait a minute. It just came back. Now I got to go do this all over again.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
So let's go ahead and let's talk about refinances. Let's see, Wendell and Phil, you guys are up. Aren't you guys doing refinances on your stuff right now?
I am.
Okay, so what's the interest rate that you locked in, and share with the rest of the group?
I actually switched this week based upon my last week's conversation with you. Originally, I was going to do the 15-year fixed at 3.375.
Okay, 3.375, guys. I call this the COVID miracle, okay? You guys are never going to see these interest rates again. I mean, this is like amazing. And especially the owner-occupied ones at 2.5% and stuff. It's craziness in the twos. But I mean, think investment property like what, you know, Phil's about to share with you guys. In the threes, period, okay? On, you know, investment property. Okay, go ahead, Phil.
And so, but that had a point to it, which was $2,000. And after the meeting I was at last week with Happy Millionaire, I decided that I'm not going to keep this property for 30 years. And so I decided I'd move to the ARM with no point, which is at 3.5%, because I received an advice today from Discover, who told me that they were looking to refinance with no appraisal costs, no closing costs, no points. And so I'm looking to take my, but it's not cash out. So I'm gonna do my cash out with this one, and I'm gonna turn around first quarter 2021 and see if I can't get Discover to just take my loan and convert it back to a regular 30 year. So
Nice. How many years is that one?
the Discover one, I'm hoping, I just received the advice here. I haven't talked to the person yet, but I'm assuming it's a standard refinance, which means I can ask for 30 years. I'm not taking any cash out.
Nice. And then the other one that was going to give you the 1 point and still the 3.3 or whatnot.
Yes.
What was the term? Or that was
the first one is a 15-year fix,
yeah.
3.375, 1 point, $200,000. The
Nice.
one I'm going to take is the house appraised for more. Oh, and that's also what I asked for today. That was a 60% loan to value refi. I asked him today the house appraised for 335, which is 110% over what it appraised for last year. I asked for a 65% LTV since he's asking me to pay off $40,000 in debt, and I just realized that $40,000 he's asking me to pay off equals the $1,400 a month payment on the arm. So I said, he asked me what did I want? I said I want a 65 LTV at the 3.5 on the arm, and so I'm waiting for his answer on that now.
Nice. How long ago did you buy that house?
That house that I'm refinancing, which has no mortgage, was my father's house that he bought when he came to Charlotte in 1976.
Nice.
In 2005, when he was getting sick, we traded. I traded him another house because he wanted to get some cash, so I traded him another house to sell, and I took that one over in 2005. And I initially rented it for $1,100 a month, and from 2006 through now, it's gone from $1,100 a month to $2,000.
So, how much money are you roughly going to take out of this house?
$217,000.
And how much taxes are you going to pay on that money?
None.
Exactly. So I want you guys to understand this, because all you flippers out there, I'm so tired of hearing, I'm going to flip, 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 flip because I need the money. Okay, you're going to flip, 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 that's fine, but you're also going to pay taxes on short-term capital gains, right? But you can keep the house, and then you can take the money out, okay? And you can get the money and not pay the taxes on it, right? So just another, way to show yourself the money, guys. And this is pretty much how real estate investors are able to not pay taxes, because you're like, how's this person making all this money and everything, but they're not paying any taxes on anything? Because we do cash out refinances, guys. We buy it, let's say for $50,000. We put, $20,000, to make it all beautiful to where it's worth now, $100,000. And then you get yourself an 80% loan to value loan where you're pulling 80 grand out of it. You have 70 into it. You just made yourself $10,000 tax free. Okay? Because you just did a cash out refinance on that property and you still have the property. Okay? So, people are like, well, how can you live if you don't sell it? Well, that's exactly how you do it, and you see that Bill's about to take 200K out of there. Where can you go make 200, G's and not pay taxes on it? Real estate, that's where. So
plowing it right back into Marietta.
I know.
I got a question. So what you're saying is fix up the house so that you can get more cash out of it whenever you refinance? Because I do have a property that I'm looking at to possibly fix up to refinance to cash out.
You got it. That's what we do. We do that. That's like pretty much what we do all day long. You got it.
No secret.
I know.
That's the secret.
That's the jewels right there, right? Those are like the golden nuggets that you guys came on this call for. All right. So Wendell, you're up. Talk to us about this $1 million cash out refi or whatever you're doing. And let us know how long's the term and what your interest rate is.
Well, we're looking at a can you hear me? Okay, I'm seeing it showing up. This will be a 20-year term, and we're going to be around 3.25%. What we're looking at. As far as the cash out refi, we're shooting on one of the properties. We have a $1.4 million mortgage now, and we're looking to go to $2 million. So we'll pull $700,000 out.
And how much are you going to pay on that $700,000? How much
Taxes?
Taxes.
Zero.
Zero.
And we have another property that we're shooting for $1 million on it, and we got the lease finalized today for additional income, which may even bump it up a little bit more. We got a $4,250 a month lease for 3 years with 3% per year increase. And they're actually going to have more room. They think they can fit all their stuff in this small space, and I know they can't, but that's okay. They've got more room. They're going to have to take it all. They think surely they can scramp it in this little space. But anyway, so we're looking on that building. We've got about, between private money and this is one of the weirdest deals I ever did. The town we're actually in loaned us money on this building. So we have a loan. No, actually, I don't know. I don't have a loan. But I've got another building. The town itself loaned us money.
What?
Out of their economic.
Okay, so that
easiest loan I've ever gotten. I did a one-page executive summary. Took it to the town meeting. We got $250,000 at 5% interest for 15 years.
Wow. I love you, Wendell. You're my hero.
You just never know what's out there, and if you don't ask, you won't get it. So,
exactly.
We've got about $500,000, I guess, of loans out on that property now. So we'll cash out of. Our target's to cash out 500. It's going to depend on where the appraisals come in and all, but that's our target right now.
Yeah, and just so you guys know, like Curtis and I pay out 12% all day long. Sometimes even 15%, but 12% interest all day long, okay, on properties. And Wendell's talking about 3.25, 3.25, okay.
I've got anywhere from 5 to 10% money on mine. It's one reason I'm looking to do this cash out and get rid of some of those or move them into some other investments.
Exactly.
Yep.
So I mean, these numbers are wonderful. Thank you guys for both of you guys being an inspiration to the group and everything. Because like I said, for you to be pulling out, $200,000, paying zero taxes on it, and then also, end up having the
don't forget I'm going to deduct the interest, I'm going to deduct the closing costs, punchline, and I'm going to hide other expenses in that particular property.
Of course, Phil. Yes, you're going to use your tax shelter, is what it's called. Okay, so this is the whole thing. So maybe Philip is making another 100,000 someplace else, right? I mean, maybe he's got a W-2 job somewhere. Well, he can have $100,000 worth of deductions and depreciation and stuff like that off of his hobby projects, right? Which would make the taxes in essence be covered, and you'd have that sheltered. So more money in your pocket. I'd rather you put that tax money into a property and save it and shelter it there versus just giving it up.
But we got to be upfront now. Well, it was really easy until 2 years ago with Trump's tax return. Now with that $25,000 minimum buffer, if you will, it's a lot harder to expense off. You have to have a lot more than my 1 or 2 houses to expense it all off against my wife's earnings, which is what I used to get $10,000 and $12,000 back off of her W-2 earnings.
Yeah, what ends up happening is that your projects get bigger and crappier. So you don't realize this yet, guys. When you have 50 performing houses, I'm like, okay, I need the crappiest apartment complex ever. That I can get for $1,000 a door, and I will put, 50,000 in renovation per unit, to try and offset some of this income, right? And keep it, in your portfolio. So great Great info, guys. Now we're gonna move on real quick to Meg and Brian because they have one that they just did. Can you go ahead and go over the numbers of what did you buy this house for? How much?
We originally bought it for what, 39?
49.
49.
Okay, so you bought it for 49, and then the appraisal came back at what?
The initial appraisal came back at 102.
Oh.
We had a rehab loan of 75 on it. Unfortunately, I am somebody who is not very good with credit cards. So I do not have the best credit score. So that worked against us a little. We finally got to the closing table, and 8 hours before closing, COVID hit, and we got told we needed to get COVID-19 gap insurance, which nobody makes. So they pulled our closing literally in 12 hours before closing was supposed to happen. Luckily, we were dealing with private money. We were able to talk to them. We renegotiated an extension. We fought through some things and jumped through a bunch of hoops, but ended up finding out our biggest problem was what we thought was wrong was the initial appraisal. Got it reappraised. They sent, the same company sent a different appraiser who reappraised the house for $55,000 more. So we went from having to pull, I believe it was about $12,000 out of our pocket to get a 30-year loan to we actually walked away with $16,000 in cash at a closing table with a 30-year loan.
And I think this kind of happened where all of a sudden, I think Meg goes, hey, do you have any idea, like, you know, things are appraising? Like, she asked me something very nonchalant, right? And then, like, 5 minutes later, I go, hey, here are the comps. Give them to the guy. You know, give them to the appraiser.
Yeah.
And so
I asked you where I should go to get it because I don't have MLS access yet. So I wanted to know the best place to go to get the best comps because I know from listening to Bonnie and Curtis, bring the comps with you. Make sure you hand the comps to the appraiser. And
I did do that.
Yeah, right off the bat. It's the first thing I did when I walked up to him, introduced myself, handed him the comps. And that helped a lot because it went up $55,000 in less than 3 months time. So, I mean, that was a huge, huge win for us. So that helped a lot where we actually had to take money. They made us money from the table at that closing.
Yeah, to meet the minimum loan requirement they had, we had to take cash out.
That is an awesome piece of advice. That's an important tip and trick to give the appraisal a list of comps that you think are comps. You also need to give them a list of repairs or upgrades specifically, name and model, number of water heater, stuff that you put in new. And what I do as well is I give them a ledger on the tenant that's in there because it's 3 approaches to appraising. It's income, it's comparable sales, and it's rebuilding. And they only appraise in North Carolina period on the 2, the comparable sales and the income approach. So if they look on that table, they got tables for every state to see what the average, what the income multiplier is, and then they look at I don't know where they get the comparable rents that they use, but I'm sure on my rent ledger, this is what I got, and I want 117 times that is my income approach to valuation.
Yep. And okay, so at this point, what was your final appraisal?
It was
155.
Yeah, 150.
155. And you bought the property for what?
49.
And what number property was this that you've done?
Number one.
Okay. So guys, I always tell you your first deal has to be pretty no-brainer. So I remember when she came to the dinner meeting, subgroup meeting, it's just like you guys. So that was her deal number 1, okay? And so how much money got dropped into your bank account, guys?
We only took about 16,000.
Okay.
We decided to leave a lot in it because we're looking at doing some stuff down the road that we want to refi as a package to do a bigger deal.
Nice.
We want to leave equity in every house we're buying.
Very good. Well, congrats. And by the way, don't you have like guaranteed rents coming in on that one?
Yes, we have Section 8, so it is guaranteed rent, which that is another thing that helped with the refi, is that we were able to let them know, hey, we're in the middle of a global pandemic and people are worried about people not paying rent. We have guaranteed income from the government that it's going to get paid every month. And they did tell us that that definitely helped the situation. So as much as some people talk bad about Section 8, I really have nothing bad to say about Section 8. We've had a really
guys is great. I mean, to come and look at the property and inspect it one time a year, it's guaranteed money, you know, that kind of stuff. So congrats to you guys on your first deal, taking money out of it and moving on to your next project. But that's a way where, you know, they used private money to pretty much acquire the property. And what was your interest rate on your private money?
12%.
What's your interest rate right now on your refinance money?
4%.
You guys see? Yay! And that was their first deal.
Definitely win.
All you do is that exact method over and over and over again. Okay. Patrick's handling the contractor right now, but just know his first one, because he's so conservative. Anyone who knows Patrick, you know, he's like mega cautious and everything, right? PhD chemist kind of man. So the first deal that we did with him was like a $20,000 house, and then we ended up increasing the value, getting it rented, and we doubled the value of that house. We did a cash out refi, got all that money back out, had more money to you know, do the next project with, and he just kept doing that over and over again until his confidence, you know, I mean, he did, I think it was like 16 units in 18 months.
Can I add one thing in, Bonnie? Because there are new people. We're still new. We're still learning. The hardest part we had was pulling the trigger on that first house. We got through that first house. We got our second house dropped in our lap. It was a house we wanted. We lost it. The person who was selling it called me and said, I've got somebody coming to look at it at noon. Do you want to see it at 11:45? I have a contract by 11:50.
We brought the contract.
We had it written out before we got
Laptop
there.
waiting to scan it and send it over to him right away. We were not letting it get away again.
It scared the death out of me trying to make that first step forward. Just, it's not something I do. But once you get through the first one, it really becomes easy, and being able to bounce the idea, we do it often off of people in this group. We run our numbers, we talk to people. If we're unsure, we ask them to run the numbers. They ran the numbers, said, yeah, you're right. I had no doubt I was buying the house before that other person even got to look at the place.
Awesome. And what's the price tag you paid for your second one, or that you're going to pay for that one?
$43,000.
Ooh. And they're going to do the exact same thing again with it. You know, it's just, you do the same thing over and over, guys. And eventually when you have X amount that are over here making money, you're going to then roll into multifamily, because you'll need bigger projects to, you know, offset what you're currently doing that's performing. So awesome. Great work on that. And so did we answer all the questions in regards to refinance? So now we've talked about obviously business lines. We talked about the refinance.
I got one question about
commercial
refinance.
as well as,
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Eugene was first.
The refinancing, what I'm running into is the property that I have is sort of unique because it's dual zone. It's business downstairs and living upstairs.
Mm-hmm. We call that multi-use.
Yes. So what's happening is there's no really comps in the area for what I have.
Normally they wouldn't be looking at comps like that. They would do it based on income approach. So just like an apartment complex, they're going to look and see how much money you're making out of that, you know, project, and they're going to base the loan on the income.
So right now I don't have nobody in it. I just got everybody out and I'm fixing it up. So would I get a lease first? How would I show income?
Yes, so when you have it fixed, you're going to lease it up. And once you have the leases, you can have pretty much a lease and a security deposit, and the bank, will pretty much take that.
Thank you.
No problem. All right. What other questions you have?
So I just have one question in regards to wanting to have long-term wealth, or the long-term goal being not the one to get the big checks, but the one to write them. Yeah. At what point do you use your cash out and go back to your older properties and pay down that mortgage? Or is that not a wise choice at all to do?
Great question. Okay. So I normally tell you guys it's good to pretty much sell if you can sell it and buy 2 more, let's say. The magic number has always kind of been if you can have like 10 years worth of rental income today. Do I expect you to wait 10 years for that money, or sell the project today and receive all that money and go buy 2 more? Does that kind of make sense? And you can also look at it like 5 years. So if you have 5 years worth of rental income that you can receive today or more, then I don't expect you guys to wait 5 years on that project. I mean, wait like a year and a day so you can 1031 tax exchange the money, right? If you're living in it, you need to wait 2 days or 2 years and 1 day to do that. But yeah, I mean, right now, because if you're in growth mode, I would say you're gonna look for maybe 5 years worth of rental income, sell it if you can make that today, and then go buy 2 more.
Okay.
Thank you. That's informative.
Yeah, does that help? I mean, I hope it does.
Yeah, that's great.
And then what'll happen is, I made the mistake where, like, I just got stuck buying, never selling. Like, I never sold any. Like, I was like a house hoarder, okay? And whenever I finally got a coach and I made him hold me to, my feet to the fire, not letting me buy houses, which everyone in Hobby Millionaires know that I have a house buying problem, okay? Like, this is not, look at Meg, like, everybody knows Bonnie Laszlo has a house buying problem. Okay, I can't stop buying houses. So, but when you get to the point, you need to sell half of them and pay off the other half, right? Whenever it's time to do that. But if you're still in growth mode and everything's cash flowing for you and you don't have any loans coming due or anything like that, but whenever it's time for you to kind of relax and chill out a little bit, just sell half and pay off the other half.
Okay. Great, thank you.
No problem. Yeah, because I don't want you to pay off money. If you got private money out there and you're, making a good spread on your properties and it's not due, it's kind of like the Eugene scenario. If you've got, 0% interest for the rest of the year, why are you going to go, pay that $50,000 off? You don't need to yet. The tenants are going to pay everything down, And then it's also good because all that stuff's deductible. I'd rather you use that extra money to go buy more things, unless you're done, So, okay. Any other questions, guys, about those types of things? No?
Yes, I have a question. So, let's say in Mr. Johnson's case where he's about to refinance his property for $200,000.
Yep.
Once he gets that appraisal, could he take that refinance and then, get the cash and do whatever he wants with it, but then say, hey, I want to sell it now, and then not be obligated to pay the loan?
Well, in order to issue clean title to the owner that he sold it to, the mortgage would have to be paid off.
Before he can sell it, you're saying the mortgage would have to be paid off?
The mortgages get paid off pretty much at closing. Does that make sense? Because whenever you're doing a cash out refinance, the mortgage is attached to the house. So in order for Phil to sell that property off to someone, whenever, he sells it to them, on the closing statement, it'll show paying off that first position mortgage that he had done that refinance with. So they get their money back at that time. All right.
I have a question about business loans.
Sure.
So when you were saying to pull out this credit and you're saying to make sure that you use it all, would you already want to have deals in line, or is this more just opening the door so when a deal falls in your lap, you're ready? Obviously, continuously looking for deals, but when you get that money out and then you put that $10,000 down to get that $100,000 line of credit, should you have deals lined up so you can immediately start using that money? Or is that more like maybe
I would say do both. Like, just do whatever to get yourself going, you know? We just got like 4 houses yesterday. And just like, you know, Meg and Brian, they went and looked at the property and got it under contract same day. Like, if you have the money and you want to place it into something, the deals are there. You know, there's plenty for everybody. You'll find a deal. If you have the money show up, you know, don't be afraid of paying them $10,000 and not figuring out a way to make that $10,000 back, because you could come here to the group and, you know, I mean, whether you joint venture in with somebody with the money that you got off of the business lines, or, you know, want coaching through it and everything, making, you know, $10,000 within a year's worth of time is pretty easy to do, especially with just refinancing, you know, doing like buying something, fixing it, and doing a cash out refi and then paying it off. Like, you know, 10,000 is a pretty conservative goal for you, you know, in exchange for the 100,000. Yeah. Hobby millionaires make at least, I mean, most of them like totally surpass 10% cash on cash returns. I tell you guys, you need to have a minimum of the 10%. You guys can ask that. Like, as you can see, Meg and Brian, like, they've made 100% returns. Deidre and Bob, 100% returns. Curtis, 100% returns. Me, 100%. Like, we do this stuff on a regular basis, but, you know, you just want to make sure that you guys are, you know, being, you know, conservative. Because, I mean, 10% in the stock market's pretty amazing to some people. But we, you know, that's kind of like, you'll see most of us, and we have HUD statements to show it and prove it, that 10% we can all make in our sleep practically once you start getting into this. Okay, so I see some questions here about, let's see, also when cash out refinancing, how do you list it on your taxes? When you do cash out refinance, the only things that go on the taxes actually are all your closing costs, because they're deductible. So those are going to be tax sheltered. So you don't show any of the money that's coming in because it's not income, right? It's a loan. But the fees that you had to pay, the attorney, the processing fee, the points, you know, all that stuff, that's the stuff that's going to go on your tax return. And let's say that you're making
and your property tax statement.
And let's say that you're having a job where you're paid $30,000 a year, and let's say you've got, you know, $5,000 worth of, you know, expenditures to get that loan or something on the property. Well, that's going to go pretty much against your income as a tax shelter, right? So then now you're going to look at pretty much paying taxes on $25,000 of your salary versus the full, you know, $30,000. Just kind of look at it like that. It kind of offsets some stuff because you get shelter.
So my biggest concern is me as like self-employed. So basically I have to show my bank statement every month. Like, I bring it to my accountant, and that cash out refinance is going to go into the account, and he's going to be like, what is this?
He's going to put it on there as a long-term liability because it's your mortgage.
Okay, so it would enter as a long-term liability?
Just on your bookkeeping, but not anything that's on your tax returns.
On taxes, okay.
Yeah. And another thing you're going to want to look into is, you know, if you're self-employed and stuff, look at paying yourself a salary and turning yourself into a W-2 income person. That way you can also open up your own you know, we call it a solo 401k. That's another thing. Do the money with solo 401ks. Pull that string, guys. That way you can still fit that box as a W-2, you know, income person. But guess what? You're the person paying yourself the W-2. You know, your company is doing that. But, you know, you just have to make sure that you understand the rules of the game and play by the rules. And, you know, those are other. Okay.
A quick question to Meg and Brian. When you guys said that when you went out to look at the property for the second time, that you had the contract in hand before the other person could even see it. How does that even
work in terms of, do you need a lawyer to write up a contract, or like?
No, we can all do it. And
We wrote the contract ourselves. They're available all over online. And actually, we called a friend who had written a couple of them and asked them at about 8 o'clock at night of, hey, do you have a real estate contract you've used? We need a copy for tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we wrote it up based on what we were willing to pay for the house, what we knew the area was going to be, and maybe a little insider information that we knew on what had happened with their previous loan and that we were coming in cash. And but it was simple, easy. I actually emailed the owner directly the contract, and he had to forward it to his realtor, who didn't know what to do.
Yeah. Well, just know, guys, you can always get the contracts from each other. That's, you know, an easy thing to do. You can probably go on to a lot of attorney sites. I think Harry even has a bunch of contracts up there on his site for you guys. But we do have 15 minutes left, okay, and show me the money. So I want to make sure we cover these other topics quickly and efficiently. Curtis, why don't you go ahead and talk about the subject 2 you just closed on? You're on muted. Yep. So,
yeah, I got a subject 2. Actually, it was brought to me by a wholesaler, and I asked him the same question Bonnie did. Are you sure you don't want to keep it? So he brought it to me, wanted to know how he could put it together, and he didn't want to close it, so he made a small fee. The homeowner, he was an investor. He needed some money. So what he did, he wasn't behind or anything. So he went and said, well, I'll sell you the house for, you know, I think it was $10,000. And I took over his existing loan. So rather than having to pay over $50,000 for a 2-bedroom house with a renter, I paid $10,000 in closing cost. And now I'm cash flowing.
That's how much of that are you going to deduct off of your taxes?
Yeah.
So no, the assignment fee that he's paying out, and you know, it just depends on any of these expenditures. I don't know how he took that, if he took it as, you know, an interest payment or whatever. But just know those down payments too that you give people. Just know on your side, you can go ahead and say that is an interest payment that I am giving you, you know, or you could go ahead and, you know, move things around. But don't to different ways you can play around with it. But that $10,000 he actually gave him could be turned out to be a tax deduction for Curtis, you know, or it could just be there to be credited towards the end. It just depends on how you're going to structure that. But you can, by the way, when you're especially doing owner finance deals too, you can structure how much interest you're paying that particular owner where it's front loaded. So you can give them an amortization schedule where, you know, everything that you're paying, you know, for the first X amount of time is all, you know, interest payments. And then you're going to be doing principal payments, you know, like interest only in the beginning, almost, you know. And then you can also do it vice versa, where if a seller that is doing the owner financing for you doesn't want to pay taxes because they're older and they don't want it to affect their income, then our answer is like, oh, well, we'll just pay you principal payments only. Therefore, you're not collecting any interest. Okay. So Curtis, with this particular property that you bought, how much did you buy it for?
I bought it actually for right at $48,000.
Okay. How much is the renter in there paying right now?
Renter is $750 a month.
Okay. And then what's your monthly payment?
Monthly payments are right at $315.
Woo! And there you go, guys. That is subject to for you, which means taking a property subject to the mortgage. So a lot of times you're pretty much just gonna, you know, take over and make those payments. And Curtis, are you making those payments to the owner or to the bank?
Those payments go directly to the bank.
You know, because guess what, guys? A lot of time when you're taking over subject twos, a lot of them might be pre-foreclosure, you know, situations. You know, why are you going to give them the mortgage payments for them just to not make the payments again? So make sure you guys are paying the bank direct so you don't end up having the process server on the doorstep going, hi, your auction time is, you know, so
Yeah.
just be smart about that.
The flexibility that you get from a subject to is amazing. I think it was Albina who talked earlier. She was going to show up for a foreclosure sale. So the way I would approach that is I would go talk to the homeowner. He's, you know, going to lose his house to a foreclosure sale. What if I went in, looked at the financials, made sure that it made sense from a return basis for me, and I gave him a couple of grand so he's got money to move out of his house. He vacates. I reinstate the loan with the bank, and now I'm not having to go to an auction and pay the whole price for a house.
I'll tell you what happens. So I drove by and knocked the door, and the house looks super cute. There's a little like flower beds around, so I would never tell somebody missing the payments. So I knocked the door, the man walked out, and he said, I don't know anything about the auction. What are you talking about? No way it can happen. So for a second I was confused. Maybe I got the wrong address.
He's hiding it from his wife.
It might be a tenant. I don't know. So I tried. This was my intention to talk and maybe buy before the auction. Probably, you know, it's like a couple days left. But the man acted like he didn't know anything. And it seems like maybe it was 3 cars in the driveway. And the house looked like cute, well taken care of.
So how did your conversation start? What'd you say to him?
I said, okay. I was like, hi, I was driving by and you know, my app says that your house goes for the auction. Like, can we talk? And he's like, auction? What are you talking about? There is no auction. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. And like, maybe I picked the wrong address because I was like doubting myself. Like maybe I'm crazy. Maybe it's the next house or something.
So this is how that conversation should have gone, you know. So guys, newbie mistake. Don't ever embarrass the owner. Okay. Number one, they know it's under auction. They're not stupid. They've had process servers come into their house. They've had notifications, like they've got the phone calls,
the yellow letters.
They've gotten the yellow letters. Like, yeah. So just, you know, that's kind of embarrassing them whenever you go. That's why they act like that. And then sometimes, like I've had it where, you know, they're hiding it from the wife. The wife doesn't know, and they're going to like be kicked out here shortly. And no one knows because he's supposed to be making that payment, right?
Imagine if you had talked to the wife instead of the husband. And she didn't know. Next thing you're going to see is she's going to stomp into the house and confront him. Or if he's not home, she's going to call.
No.
Maybe it was the wife's house.
Maybe it's the wife. Yeah, he's going in the house now going, this lady talked about our house being up for auction. And she's going to be like, okay, honey, I haven't made the payments for 2 years.
I can't believe people don't know it. It's just crazy.
No, it's
so here's how that conversation should go. Okay. So you show up there, right? And so the auction, how much was it going up for? You know?
I don't know how much, but according to prop stream, it says the $51,000 is the mortgage debt.
Okay. So let's just pretend that this is happening and you came up to him and said, hey, I'm buying in this neighborhood. I've got friends that are in this neighborhood, even if your friends are investors that are in the neighborhood, investing in the neighborhood, right? I got friends in the neighborhood. I've got $60,000 cash. Would you by chance be interested in selling this house for $60,000 cash?
Oh, I shouldn't have even mentioned the auction. Okay.
There you go.
You know, you're like judging people through your opinion, like me being myself. Like I would never let that happen, and I cannot even like let it go and like pretend like, hey, my husband won't even know that it goes for auction. Just crazy.
It is like you won't even. There's wildness that you're going to see so much interesting stuff. We should just have a call that's all about the crazy that goes on to it, because we've had that too. You know, that guy probably didn't know, and he's going in the house now asking his wife, like, why is our house going up? And she's now going to break it to him that she hasn't been making the payments.
So what happens Monday when one of them leave home for a couple of days because they don't want to face the music from their spouse?
But right now you could go and save it to see, and just go ahead and send them an offer that's like an LOI that I have in my book. It's chapter 2. But
Monday is the auction right now. Is what is a Thursday night.
Doesn't matter because is it North Carolina auction? Here in Mecklenburg or something?
Yeah, it's not Mecklenburg, but yeah, it's around the Charlotte.
There's upset bid processes. So even if it goes to auction, I can go and upset that bid in 10 days. So half the time we don't even go to auction. You know, it's like, oh, let's just go look at the three-ring binder and see what everyone's.
Or let's say that it goes to upset bid and it increases 20,000 more. You could still go to the homeowner, give him a couple of grand, have him deed the house to you, and then you redeem the whole loan, or go talk to the people that have put their bids in and offer to sell it to them. There's a million ways to do this.
Yeah.
How long do you have when they, let's say they agree to that and they're like, sure, you know, give us the money and you can do whatever to the house? Then how long do you have as the person who purchased the house that was going to foreclosure for you to kind of be like, hey, don't foreclose the house. I just
That's a good question. So I'm like, you don't give them the cash, you give the bank the cash.
No, you're giving the attorney the cash.
Attorney, okay.
The attorney's gonna get the cash. The attorney's gonna call and say, hey, this house is trying to go up for auction. Send me the payoff right now. I've got the funds. I'm gonna wire it over.
Never do a kitchen.
Okay.
That's why you're going to go to Harry Marsh, because
Never give them the money, guys.
Harry Marsh does these. Yeah, Harry does these every week, and he knows exactly how to process this.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so we went over some of the topics with showing you guys the money. We're down to 5 minutes, so I want to go ahead and go over one more topic, or maybe a couple of them just briefly so you know what we're talking about. Hard money loans. Don't be afraid to pay the points. Don't be afraid to pay the interest, because it's the second set of eyes looking at your project. And if they won't lend to you, you shouldn't be doing the project probably. Okay? So look at it as if they're your safety net, right? So if they won't lend to you, there's something wrong with the deal. So let's see. We went through subject 2, went through the business loans. Private money, self-directed 401ks, guys, self-directed, solo 401ks. And guess what? Right now it's COVID miracle. So people can pull money out of their 401k plans without penalty for a few years. So if you guys are working somewhere and you're contributing, you know, to your 401k plans and stuff, guess what? You have money you can actually touch right now and put into real estate. And you probably didn't know that. So anyways, there's a multitude of ways that you guys can do that. So take advantage of, you know, looking into that. Other item, NACA loans. NACA.com, go there. Cheapest money on the streets, no closing costs, no down payment, and it's a character-based loan, which means they're not looking at your credit score, okay? So if your credit is crap, that's fine. Go to NACA, get hooked up, get organized, get your stuff into them, and it's a great program, and it's backed by Bank of America, I think Citigroup. And it's funny because most Bank of America people, employees, don't even know about it. But it is the cheapest money on the streets, guys. You can be making $1 million and still get a NACA loan. But NACA, you can't go into anything else.
Excuse me, did you say nc.com? What did you say?
It's NACA.com?
NACA.
Yeah, NACA.com. Yep. So look it up, you'll see it. It's that strange unicorn, you know, situation for people. And you can actually buy up to a quadruplex. So if you wanted to live in one, rent out the others. Definitely, if you got kids going to college, get them into NACA, guys. That would be like the best thing to change their life, right? Get them qualified for a NACA loan. Aunts, uncles, I don't know, family members, friends, church friends, I don't know, friends you don't even know. NACA, great stuff. So get that information. Let's see, what else was another topic, Curtis? Oh, Patrick, SBA loan. So Patrick, tell them what's going on right now.
SBA loans are still happening. You know, that's always been in existence, but now there are multiple programs with relation to CARES and PPP because of COVID. Those are changing all the time. So I'm not sure right now if the CARES, PPP, and EIDL are actually fundable, especially since the recent announcement that, you know, negotiations will be cut off. But you can go to SBA.gov And then you can also use Bank of America to submit an application. There are also other third parties out there that can help you prepare your file and make sure that it looks neat and tidy, and to help you get the most out of your application. But that basically, for investors that may be having lost rents with their tenant base, or just having those kind of gaps where, you know, evictions, everyone knows that evictions have been slowed up. All that impacts your monthly income and your cash flow, and those funds are available through the government with SBA loans.
Just to tell you guys in short what that kind of means too. So when this COVID thing happened, we ended up paying Anderson Group $2,500, and they ended up getting us $60,000 in return. Okay. This is the part about having a team who knows what they're doing, because whenever they're processing, you want that other person at SBA to be like, oh, it's another one of those apps from, you know, the Anderson Group. We know it's going to be thorough. You know what I mean? They know what they're doing. Versus someone trying to attempt this on their own. Maybe your file could be awesome, but maybe you forget something.
And the terms of the loans are outstanding right now. It's a 30-year loan, 0% interest for the first year, and thereafter it's like 2.75%. So you have a 30-year loan for 2.75%. It's like
cheap money, guys. Show you guys the money. Get some of that money. And we went ahead and did it. Like we were kind of like just fiddling. I'm like, let's kick them $2,500 and see where this goes. But it was great because, you know, they just assumed that every tenant, you know, didn't make, you know, we had, let's say, you know, collections of 20,000 people not.
Those were legitimate collections, yeah.
Of pretty much people looking at them not paying, let's say, and they will pretty much cover you for 3 months worth of that. So we assumed that, you know, a lot more people were just not going to pay, because you can't estimate into the future. So I dropped the F. Okay, here's another thing. You're going to notice I drop F-bombs all the time. I know, look at Nira. She's like, time out. I was doing so good.
We're hospitality. We hear much worse.
Mm-hmm. But
we're chefs. We've heard it all.
Yeah, I've been so polite on these calls, but anyone who knows me in person, look at Nira, she's flipping out. Because, you know, everyone's pretty much like, gosh, she swears like a sailor. So, yeah. So, sorry about that. You know, family event here. Okay, so SBA, back to that. Just make sure you guys look into that, because that's great, free, or, you know, free money in essence for the first year that we had gotten, and then it's like, you know, that's great.
The advisory.
What was that?
The Anderson Group you're talking about, is it a business advisory firm?
Yes.
Is it the same with Clinton Coons?
Yes, Clint Coons.
Clint Coons, yeah. Okay.
I think
Thank
we're
you.
at Las Vegas or I can't remember which city. I think that may be out of Las Vegas.
If you want to learn more about subject to, Clint Coons from the Anderson Group can give you great YouTube advice on how these work.
All right, Curtis, was there anything else on that long list that we had that we wanted to touch base on? Do you have the list too?
Student loan forgiveness.
Okay, so student loan forgiveness. If you guys go to my Facebook page, you'll see there's a thing in there. It says, for the hobby millionaires who have been asking me about this, these people call me. I don't have a student loan, okay? Yet they're calling me, give me this. So I started playing around with it. I even called them to see if they're legit. Yes, they're legit. I don't know if any hobby millionaires have called that number to go ahead and ask them, but pretty much it was funded, you know, in the middle of this COVID thing, where as long as your student loans are over $7,500, that there's loan forgiveness or loan debt restructuring. So somebody that was a hobby millionaire told me that they had, I think, 200,000 worth of student loans, and it would be reduced to like under $200 a month or something crazy. And then if you paid on it for a few years, then they were just going to forgive the other 80 grand. It's something weird like that. So if anyone does have a student loan and wants to call them and, you know, get it good, then yeah, get on my Facebook page, look at there. It should say on there, I'll repost it again tonight just so it's up to the top. But it'll remind you guys to take advantage of that money. You know, call that phone number. It gives like a special ID that was for mine, but go ahead and just give them that thing and, you know, see what you can do with it. It'll fast track you since they're calling me. And I recorded it, and yeah, they seem legit. Just don't sign anything until you come back to the meeting and tell us what you're about to sign, because I want to make sure that, you know, it's not some weird people, you know, doing something strange that I wouldn't, you know, want you guys to move forward with. But it sounds like it's legit, and Adina's on the call, and just so you know, her student loans were forgiven. They just disappeared and zero balanced out.
Yep.
Adina, you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, all my student loans were forgiven. It was so crazy, actually. They're just gone. And they were there 2 months ago because I was looking at my credit and I wanted to get my credit up a little higher. So I actually asked Bonnie to help me look over my credit. And I'm like, wait a minute. Why don't I have So
and
yeah.
And then I went and pulled them on each of the credit bureaus to verify this, and it had zero balance on all of them for her.
Yep, they were totally all forgiven. So
yep, she also had whatchamacallit, an auto loan that was also zero balanced out. And then I looked on mine because I called Curtis and I was like, for some reason my score just went up 60 points. And so I went and I looked, and because when I saw what happened to Adina, I was like, let me go ahead and look, because right now we're going through a financial reset, guys, just so you know, in general. So there's going to be a lot of loan forgiveness taking place. You just have to kind of look at your credit reports to see if you're going to be one of the affected kind of thing. I don't know how they're picking people. The only thing Adina and I guess could think of is that, you know, we have philanthropic, you know, donations on our bank statements. Okay, so maybe they're going based on loan forgiveness. Those
because I have a lot of payments out to a lot of different charities that come out. But also, I had a car I never paid off for like $9,000 or $10,000 from like 8 years ago, and that was forgiven as well too.
So good stuff. Just keep an eye out for all of this, you know, financial reset stuff that's taking place. It's all good stuff. I had, when the 60% jump, I figured out a mortgage went to a zero balance. So yeah, I'm not asking questions. I'm enjoying it. And yeah, it's great. We checked it on, you know, all the different credit bureaus, and it shows up, you know, zero balanced out on that. And it shows, you know, that, I don't know, miracles can happen, right?
It wasn't.
Yeah, I'm not going to say this is going to be for everybody, but there is a valid number. It is real. I've had some hobby millionaires call it. They have already worked out the structures. I've heard a little bit coming back on it. So if you do have student loans that are over, you know, $7,500 something, definitely give that phone number a call and see if you can dip into that student loan forgiveness fund. Okay, and it's for
the number on the chat.
I can't dig for it right now. I'll make sure I'll put it up on the Facebook page and stuff like that for you guys to look at. So if you go to, you know, Hobby Millionaire Gastonia or Hobby Millionaire Charlotte, I'll make sure I repost it there so it's up at the top. Okay. And any other items on that list?
I think
are we
hit
good?
them all. Yeah, we hit.
Bonnie, Curtis, what's the name? What's the name for the Anderson? Is that Anderson Advisors?
Yep, Anderson Advisors.
Business Group.
Yep.
They're doing the tax advising, annuity planning, things like that, right?
I didn't do any of that stuff. I just gave them the $2,500 to specifically do the SBA loan application for us because I didn't have time to pretty much figure all that stuff out. And if you mess up, then they kick your application out and put you to the bottom of the line. And so I wanted to make sure it was done perfect. So we paid $2,500 for them to do it. All I know is that cash on cash return was phenomenal because we paid out $2,500, which is all tax deductible. I'm going to deduct it off of the taxes, right? And then they got us $60,000. Zero interest for the zero payments for the first year. And then obviously it's a really cheap interest rate on a 30-year, you know, time frame. So we'll never be paying that.
Okay.
That thing is going to be out for 30, I'll be out
Otherwise,
30 years from now. That thing is going to still be getting paid on.
Is it applicable to startups?
I'm sorry?
Is it applicable to startups? Like,
You'll have to see which
You'd have to,
programs
yeah.
they have, but they have
There's-
so many different ones.
yeah, I was gonna
but
say
they
that-
even do have it for starting a business.
Yeah, there's so many different programs. They talk to you and figure out what's the best slot to fit you into, and then they take it from there.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Talk to SBA and talk to Anderson Group and just say, hey, this is where I'm at. What can you do for me? Right? Okay. Well, with that said, guys, I think that we have shown you a lot of money, and it's time for you guys to obviously go replicate or do it again, right? I mean, it's awesome. Like, I love seeing how everyone's getting money put back into their bank accounts and all that kind of good stuff. And excited to have you all on the call. And we do have, obviously, a class that's available. It's on Meetup, which will be on Saturday. I know some people were asking to have pretty much like Rehab Riches 2, where we're going over scope of works and, you know, how much things cost and that kind of thing to save money. But we normally do offers class. So first person to sign up for it on Saturday, you pretty much just in the comments say which class you want, whether it's offers class or it's show me the money or it's property management or it's IRA or it's, you know, Rehab Riches, whatever it is. You guys can pick whatever that is, because the first person who does it, you get to pick the class. And if you don't, then I just, you know, I sleep in and enjoy my Saturday. But I'm here and I'm available for you guys. And like I said, it's nothing that's going to break the bank. It's just there for you to separate the serious from the curious. $150 if you guys want to do it. You're not paying $50,000 for any. But with that said, anything else, Adina, you want to add?
I want to add, my brain is about to explode in a good way, because that was so much frigging information that I can actually use so much of it. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys agree. Bonnie and Curtis, thank you, thank you, thank you. Phil, Wendell, guys, thanks for chipping in. Eugene with your stories too, guys. Thank you so much. Bob and Deidre, Meg. We have finished with our week, except if somebody signs up for a class. Remember, hobbymillionaire.com if you want to do investor support contracts. We're happy to interview you. And other than that, we'll see you Tuesday at 12 p.m. and 7 p.m. for our normal meetings, right?
Yep.
All right, guys. Bye.
Have a great night. Bye, everyone. Thanks for coming.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. Thanks for coming again. Thanks for sharing your story, Meg and Brian.
Anytime. Thank
and
you.
Phil, too, and Wendell.